Are you looking for a proven system to learn Spanish in just 5 minutes a day so you never feel tongue-tied or brain fried again? If so, you're in the right place. If you're trying to learn Spanish and didn't have luck before, if you are learning Spanish and having problems remembering the words that you see or hear, you're in the right place. My name's Sean, and I started learning Spanish about 15 years ago. When I started learning, it was very difficult for me because I was around a lot of people that didn't speak English. But with continual practice in the system that I'm going to give you for free after watching this video, you can learn all the basic Spanish vocabulary that you need to have a strong foundation to grow into an intermediate or an advanced speaker. I'm going to be giving you all of my highly coveted tips and tricks so that you can start speaking on your own alone. Research proves that if you follow this system, you will be able to speak Spanish no matter your age. And as long as you're a native English speaker, there's one important thing that you need to understand. Spanish is the easiest second language for you to learn if you are a native English speaker. The best thing about this system is that you don't have to spend hours with your head in a boring textbook or grammar book to learn new Spanish words. With this system, you only need to spend 5 minutes every day. The system for learning a language is the same, no matter where you're born in the world. Your brain will make connections and you will learn as long as you have continual input in context to learn the information that you're seeing. So, how does my proven system work, and what does science say about it? It's scientifically proven that when you use a word again and again, each time you use the word, your brain remembers it a little bit better. If you say a word today in English, perhaps you hear the word and you've never heard it before. You look it up, you know what it means. You learn it because you read about it. The next time you use that word, the chances of you forgetting it reduce by half, 50%. Imagine what happens when you use that word a third time. Again, your brain reduces the chance of forgetting that word by 50%. With continued repetition and practice in context, you effectively reduce your chances of forgetting a word all the way down to 0%. My proven system is going to show you how to do that. All you have to do is download it and follow 3 simple steps in 5 minutes a day, and you can start speaking Spanish fluently in as little as a month, as long as you're putting the time in and taking time out of your day to practice and review these words. Let's talk about how this system works. The basis for the system is very simple. All you have to do is get some Spanish vocabulary cards, and I've given you some in this free download. That way you can start off on the right foot. What do we do with these Spanish vocabulary cards that we have, and how do we remember the language? When you were younger, you had to learn a specific set of rules through repetition and context in English. We've all heard the little boy or the little girl who says, "Mommy, I have 2 feet." Any native English speaker knows that this is wrong, but do we correct the child? Do we say, "Hey, we don't say feet"? Not at all, not at all. Psychologically, this doesn't work. Instead, what we do is we repeat the sentence to the child again and again, and through repetition and repeated exposure to the word, the child is able to correct this by himself. So, after hearing, "I have 2 feet," or "we say 2 feet, not 2 feet," the child remembers the next time he's going to tell his mother or father that he has 2 feet. And he's going to say, "I have 2 feet. I don't have 2 feet." We didn't do this by memorizing. Instead, they acquired this language through repetition and through context, but they did it without memorizing. That's the beauty and the power of the system that I'm about to give you. How does this work? Well, let's take a look at this right here. This is this proven system. You're going to start out with a list of vocabulary words, and you're going to read them, and you're going to practice and understand how to pronounce them correctly. I recommend printing out some vocabulary cards with a picture on them. You need to put all of the new words you're trying to learn on this piece of paper. This is very important. You need to take 5 minutes out of your day every day for a week and look at these words in Spanish. You need to say what that word means in English. You're going to do this every day for a week from Monday to Friday, 5 minutes a day. So 35 minutes in total. And at the end of the week, I can promise that you are going to remember most, if not all, of the words that you have on this piece of paper here. Once that's done, is for the following week, you need to take these words and you need to practice them on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, only 3 days of this week. So week 1, say the words every day. They're on this piece of paper right here. Week 2, on Monday, you're going to say all of these words again. And if you can remember them, this is step 2 in this system. Why are we reducing the frequency here? It's because when you reduce the frequency, your brain can help you to remember these words. You've already looked at them every day for a week, and you've learned what the word means. Perhaps it's not sticking. If you are able, after 1 week, to remember all of the words that you had on page 1, take them off and stick them on step 2. But you're not going to do it every day. You're not going to look at them and repeat these words every day. Instead, you're going to look at them only on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. If at the end of the week, on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, you can look and remember these words just by seeing them, you're going to take them and move them to step 3. But if one day you can't remember the word, or one day you forget what this word means, you need to take it and move it back to step 1. Okay? So, Monday, Wednesday, Friday of week 2, you remember the word? Great. Move it to step 3. If you don't, move it back to step 1. The reason for this is very simple. The more exposure you have to this word and the more time you have practicing it, the more likely you are to remember it. That is step 2. You're going to move them to step 2. You're going to practice them on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. 5 minutes a day tops. Do not spend more than that. Okay? If you tried to cram these words to remember them, it's not going to work. We know what to do with step 2. What is step 3? I bet you're wondering, what is step 3? Step 3 is to decrease the frequency of how often you see and say these words. The goal here is to move it from short-term memory into long-term memory. This is the same method I used when I was taking Spanish at the university, and it's the same method I used when I was getting my master's degree in Spanish translations. If you're having doubts about the system, trust me, it will work. You just have to follow through with it. Step 3 is simple. All you're going to do is you are going to say these words 2 weeks apart. Okay? So you want to do it on the 1st of the month or the 15th of the month, or you can do it on the 10th of the month and the 25th of the month. Whatever days you choose, they need to be 2 weeks apart. You're going to move the words from step 2 that you practiced on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and you're going to move them to step 3. You're going to say these words 2 weeks apart. 5 minutes, that's all you need. Quickly look at the word. If you can remember it, say it, and know what it means, congratulations, you've acquired the word. You can very quickly acquire a large base of Spanish vocabulary for beginners just by following this simple method. Hit that bell, hit the subscribe button, because I'm going to be making more content like this to help you improve your Spanish to the same level that mine is. I have a master's degree in it. I used to live in Colombia. I spent a long time practicing this system again and again. I'm doing this because I know how difficult it is to learn a second language, and I don't want anybody to feel the frustration that I did. You know, some days when I was living in Colombia, I would wake up and immediately be thrust into Spanish. And I'm sure you as a language learner can understand how difficult, scary, and even mind-boggling this can be. Click the download link. Get your proven system, get your vocabulary cards, and get started. The longer you wait, the longer it will take for you to learn Spanish. Use this 3-step system, and I guarantee you, you will learn a large amount of vocabulary very quickly. The best thing about this is even if you do not use specific words, you can also use the system for phrases. I guarantee you, in a month, you will not forget that phrase.